What is going on, YouTube? Zero Elite here. I'm back again with a new video, episode 12 of the Disco Era USS Enterprise tutorial. Thank you very much for tuning in for today's video. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already and you're new to the video series. Today we're going to be finishing up the lower hull of our Disco Era Enterprise. And I've done two very minor things off camera. This line that we have right here, you can see where we had the lighter blocks that we added in the previous video. Directly underneath that, I just added another layer going all the way back to our cut right here. And then this cut, this block right here before we hit the cut, I have basically a placement line going straight across to the other side. And yeah, so from here out, we're going to start to build our lower hull going all the way up. So without further ado, let's get started. And at this point, I was just checking out the shape, trying to figure out what type of pattern I was going to do. And then it dawned on me that there is a clear way to do this, and that's going to involve a pattern of 2, I believe. I don't remember specifically if it was 2 or 3. I think I settled on 2 actually. And all I did was at the very bottom, in the exact dead center, I went up and out 1, and then I built 2 out, and then up 1, 2 out, up 1, and I'm repeating this process all the way up. Because basically what I want to see is how this cut is going to look like from the side. Now that is what we want. That is the Disco Era Enterprise. Because you see on this ship, and again pull up your screenshots, your side view of your ship, the way it cuts up, there's a good portion of the Shuttlebay that it has just like that's pure flat underneath. And then it's also going to be hanging off quite a bit, which eventually we're going to have to shave down the top of our Shuttlebay, but we'll be doing that later on. But my point is that this portion right back here is pretty flat, so this is what we want. This is the correct curve, definitely. Now, believe it or not, we've already done the work for this. So what I mean by that is we're going to be repeating this process all the way up to these lines, and we're going to taper it out. And you're going to see how I bow this out to make it 3D based off the 2x2 or the 2 long pattern. Now I just deleted the last one, and now I'm going to go out by 3 on the last 3. And right now I'm building just below our divider line. This doesn't quite have that curve right there. Now it does. It's looking a little bit better. That's pretty spot on. If you need to, pause the video to see how many I counted up. I didn't count them out just there, but if you need to, feel free to rewind the video and count that out again to see how many exactly that was. And you see how far I'm going? I'm stopping at the cut. I'm going to do that again on the right side, but then I'm going to go up and then out because we're following the pattern that we already have. And I'm going to go all the way up. So let's go ahead and bang this out. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And one more. that wasn't right. Okay, we got rid of those blocks, fixed it. Again, if you see the mistake, just look at the other side to see what you did, and that will, if you did one side right, you'll be able to catch your mistake as you're going, like I was just able to do right there. Let's go ahead and bring this out now on the right side. We're going to bring this all the way back. Repeat this process until we get to the top. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just prepping out this left side out a little bit because I want to see how it's going to look, and that if what I'm doing is going to come out right or not. And it's not. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to shave it in right here to have it go in with the pattern. But we'll get to that here in just a minute. This is another part that I don't know if other people have had a hard time with it, but I usually do. This lower side of the hull is no easy task to get right. So it took me 3 attempts just to come up with this pattern. And again, I'm not repeating this on the other side just yet because I'm not certain that this is going to look right. I'm kind of getting the feeling that I have to shave it down like I just did. I'm going to have to do that a little bit more, I think, when we get up into here. Alright, so let's go ahead and build that out on the right side now. And with this, just take your time. If it's not fresh in your head, just keep going back and checking the other side to see exactly what you did. Alright, now we're going to fill in another row. Let's bang out the right side now. I don't know if you can catch what I'm doing here. When I'm adding this row out, I just added another line right here, and then we're going to keep doing that so that it's more or less going to shave out going along here, but it'll look good. I'm going to bring that all the way up on the right side now because I'm getting more confident in what I'm doing. It's starting to come out pretty good. And let's zoom out, take a look. You can start to get an idea. See what I mean? How it's cutting in and shaving off the sides. Well, it's not here, but technically in my mind, this is a straight line going all the way down. So that's what I mean that we're shaving off the lines here to make it mesh, and well, not mesh, but blend in with our lower hull a little bit better. Alright, let's bang that out on the left side, bring that all the way up. We're getting there, we're almost done. And not a super long video today, only about 29 minutes total. We've got about 19 minutes left in current build. Yeah, that's starting to look really good. And to be honest with you, I think this is one thing that other people neglect to do when they're working on their ships. When they build it out, like I said, it looks very wooden in that it's shaven out and that there's not necessarily a pattern to it, but it's just kind of layered on there when they do the sides of the ship. And it looks very, very pixelated. Now, this does kind of have those rough lines when you get close to it, but it's following a pattern all the way through, and it's still giving us the exact cut that we need. And when we're done with it, and we zoom out and look at it, you're going to be like, okay, yeah, that's the exact angle, or pretty close to the exact angle that the lower hull is. All right, so let's see here. We're going to finish up the left side, the current row that we're on, and then we're going to do the same thing on the right. We've got a little bit of work left to do, but we're burning the grease on this one. We're making some progress. This is kind of why you'll hear me say from time to time, you know, come up with a pattern, and that'll really help you in building out your ship. And you can see, this was such a hard problem in my head, but basically what it came down to is that original line that we started with. I just sat there and I looked at that and I was like, man, you know, if I work off of that and I go out by 2 or out by 3 and then up, and I keep repeating that, I could taper it. I can keep tapering it in every 2 all the way around going up, and I should still be able to get that angle. So, you know, just working off of that pattern, that original pattern that we had on our hull, I was able to do this whole lower half of the belly of the ship. So, again, when you get those patterns, start to stick with it, because your ship will come out really good. And then you'll also be able, maybe not necessarily use this pattern exactly, but this might help you out in the future where you might get in a similar situation, and you'll basically develop the skill of working with patterns. Is kind of what I'm trying to say. I'm jabbering on a little bit, but that's what I was trying to spew out of there, is that as you start getting better with building these ships, you'll get really good with building with patterns. And you'll just have like an idea in your head of okay, this works, this doesn't work, and you'll just start going through the laundry list of different things that you've done until you come up with a shape that starts to work. So I got a little baby hole there, let's fix that. Other than that though, we're looking great. That looks fantastic. I tell you what, wait until you see this thing when it's done. When we finish it here in a few minutes, I have not seen another Enterprise build with that clean of a lower hull. It doesn't look perfect right now, but when we start to get everything else added on, we start to fill in this part here, and then we eventually start to fill in the neck, and then add in the pylons, and then the engines, this thing is really going to start to come to life. And I haven't had too many questions lately. If you have any questions regarding the build, feel free to ask. If I don't cover something, definitely, or if I don't go or clarify what I'm doing enough and you're confused or you're stuck, feel free to shoot a comment down below. I usually always answer questions in the comments section. And if I don't directly answer your question in the comments section, chances are I'm probably getting ready to reply to it in a video, because I've had other people ask me that same question. So definitely drop those comments below. Also, if there are ships that you want to see me build, any tutorials that you would like to see me do, drop those comments below. I've been having a couple of people sending me messages asking me if I'm going to do any more Enterprise builds. My number one build request right now is the Enterprise D. So if that's something that you'd like to see me do, drop that comment below. Or maybe there's another Enterprise you'd like to see me do. I've had a couple people ask me to do the Enterprise E. I've had a couple people ask me to do the Enterprise J. If I can keep that going, I would not mind to have a continuous Enterprise series until we end up going through all of them. And then, there's a whole list of ships that we can build from Star Trek and then other shows as well. So make sure you're dropping those comments. You never know, I might end up building that ship if I have enough people asking for it. Or even if I don't have a lot of people asking for it, I might just really be filling that build idea, and I might do it anyway. So you never know. Drop those comments. So anyway, moving on, shifting right back into our tutorial, you can see I'm just moving on with my pattern. Each thing I do on the left, I do on the right, and we're just building that pattern 2 by 2 right there. And now we're doing the single with 2 back. We're going to build that all the way up. Okay. Now let's move on. Let's keep going. We're getting there. We've only got about 12 minutes left in the video, so we're moving right along. I've been trying to keep these videos not super long. My really long build sessions, I've been really trying to screen through them. Anything that I really don't need to show, I'm not doing it I don't want to stretch out the tutorial series too far more than it has to be, because this is already going to be long as it is, because there's just a ton of stuff to go over. But, we're definitely making progress. We're already on episode 12. So how many episodes this thing's going to go, I don't know, but I'm trying to cut it down where I can, so we'll see where we land on it eventually. So right, I'm working my way up now. I finally caught up to where I had going 3 back. Alright, and let's continue on. We're going to add out this layer and build this all the way up. And we'll do the right side too. And that's something I do also. You don't always have to just keep going to finish that pattern. You can keep going side to side. That also will also help keep you consistent, and it'll kind of keep things fresh when you're building too. There again to a point where I can only go one wide, and now we're going all the way up. You can see where I'm putting in my floor. Remember where I had our wall going around our lower hull here to the shuttle bay? I had made that was originally one wide. I made it two, so I'm building on the second one, not the top one. If you want to try to keep your ground level at the same one exactly that mine is. In this last row here, we're not really going to be able to blend this out too much, I think. We might have to bring this all the way back, I think. You see how this looks. Might have to make a minor adjustment. And I think what I'm going to do is the lower side under here. This, where we were just adding in the floor, we're just going to bring this all the way down to fill this in, this gap that's right here. So that extra layering that is added up there, we're not even going to use that. Oh, looks like I deleted a couple extra ones. Let's fix that real quick. And if you're not 100% sure which blocks to delete, just build out your floor. So again, we're just going to bring this all the way back as far as we can to have it blend in with our lower hull, to fill in any of those tiny gaps. Because there's no point in building that up. You're not going to see it anyway, because now we're at the roof. So we have just a little bit of leftovers, but that's okay. We can get rid of that later on. Alright, And let's zoom out and take a look. It looks like we need a taper line. Basically what I'm doing is I'm using the half slabs. I went one in, and I'm going to go all the way around the perimeter. But you want to make sure that when you're putting these half slabs down that you're not on the edge. You want to make sure that there's a lip going all the way around. And the reason that we're doing this is that we're adding some texture and some depth to our ship to make it look just a little bit more 3D. I'll fix that, and then we're going to do the same thing on the right side. Again, just double checking my work, making sure it's matching up. Oh, fix that. Okay, now let's zoom out and take a look. Now see, you probably weren't expecting that to come out just like that, but I think that looks darn good. Aside from the angle, the problem with the Shuttlebay is that basically this needs a cut by one and go down at an angle. It's going too far back. That's really what's hurting it. But it doesn't look bad even as it is right now. We could leave it just as is, and again, I don't think anybody would bat an eye, and it looks fantastic. I really think that works. Anyway, I do think that's going to wrap up this episode. We've gotten everything done on the to-do list for episode 12. Man, I can't believe we've already gotten up to episode 12. But anyway, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video today. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and help me supporting the channel. It definitely helps out. I really appreciate that. And I hope that you enjoy more content that's going to be coming out. Don't forget to drop those comments below. Any questions that you have, or if you have any builds you'd like to see me do, make sure to drop those comments. And also don't forget to tune in tomorrow for episode 13. You'll be seeing videos dropping consistently Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m. So definitely check back every day for that. And just want to thank you guys again and have a fantastic day.